Hello, and welcome back to the new Mindscape. In this video, I'm going to continue the discussion on human nature, looking at what some Western philosophers have reflected on this topic. Are humans essentially selfish? The European philosophers of the 17th and 18th century, Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Thomas Hobbs, also debated about human nature. This was a different debate from the debate between Schinze and Mencius, but it was also about whether humans have innate goodness or not. Russo proposed the idea of the noble savage, which I talked about in a previous video. He considered that before humans had any education or culture, they were wild, but they were good and pure. But then, sophisticated culture and education have actually made humans lose their purity and simplicity. According to this view, humans have an innately good nature. On the other side, Hobbes said that life is nasty, brutish, and short. All humans do is to struggle and fight against each other in their pursuit of self-interest. He saw humans in a totally materialistic way, considering them to be only matter in motion. Humans, for Hobbes, are just like machines, without a moral sense in them. Nowadays, some of the most prevalent theories that structure our operating system in today's society are derived from Hobbes. These theories are another form of materialism, which you could call materialist reductionism. At the core of most theories of economics, biology, and sociology, human beings are considered to be innately selfish and self-interested. Now, of course, I'm simplifying things because there are many different theories with many variations. But nonetheless, most prevalent theories in biology, social science, economics, and politics share basic assumptions about human nature, and these basic assumptions are baked into the operating system of our society. So let's take one of the most fundamental theories in economics, for example, which is called rational choice theory. This is the core theory in economics, and it's also spread to other disciplines such as psychology and sociology. It's an extremely influential theory with a very clear belief about human nature. It's a theory about what humans are and about what motivates human beings. It considers that humans are motivated to maximize their self-interest. They always make rational choices that maximize their benefits but minimize their costs. All human behavior, according to this theory, can be explained by understanding how people try to maximize their utility. That is to say, how to maximize their self-interest. Therefore, human beings are essentially and fundamentally self-interested. According to this theory, even when people are acting selflessly, they're actually being selfish. That is to say, even when they're being charitable, when they're being generous, when they're kind to others, and so on, they're actually maximizing their self-interest in another way. Well, how could that be? Well, for people who publicly do charity, well, they're maximizing their self-interest by engendering other people's good impression of them, improving their reputation, and so on. And even if they do charity secretly or privately, doing charity gives them a feeling of subjective well-being. And so, because it makes them feel good, they're acting in a self-interested way. So, according to this theory of human nature, humans can only be selfish, and they're selfish all the time. Every type of behavior you see in the world is only a different form of being selfish. So right now, if I'm spending a lot of time to make this video for you, well, it's because I'm selfish. I'm doing this because I might benefit from your appreciation. But if I yell at you and if I'm rude and nasty to you, well, that's another way of being selfish. And if I beat you up, it's another way of being selfish. So whether I'm honest with you or whether I lie to you, well, these are all different ways of maximizing self-interest. It just depends which one will bring the best advantage to me. So depending on that, I will choose to either be honest to you or to be dishonest to you based on the circumstances. If I give you a good grade, it's a way of maximizing my self-interest. And if I give you a bad grade, it's also a way for me to maximize my self-interest. So these are all different ways of maximizing utility. So they're all different ways of being selfish. So basically, rational choice theory reduces all human activities to one motivation. Every human being has exactly the same motivation, which is to maximize self-interest. There are differences only because people have different definitions of their self-interest, and they have different information that leads them to make different choices. Now, of course, I'm painting a caricature of rational choice theory here. I'm kind of making fun of it, and I don't want to belittle its explanatory power in many different situations. But I do want to emphasize that although rational choice theory claims to be an economic theory, it's actually based on a very strong philosophy or even a strong belief. I'd even say a certain kind of faith in the deepest motivation of human behavior. Now, there are other powerful theories that we should also consider. So let's consider Darwinian evolutionary theory. According to evolutionary theory in biology, evolution is operated by natural selection to the extent that individuals can transmit and spread their genes to the next generations. The basic drive of an individual in his or her life is to make more copies of his genes by passing them down to his offspring. So what drives every individual is the overriding desire to have the most successful offspring who can survive and carry the same gene. A man who wants to have sexual intercourse with as many women as possible so that his genes can spread out as widely as possible. Everything is a self-interested drive. Humans exist only to reproduce their own genes. In sociology, we have another set of theories, and these theories are often based on power. The idea here is that individuals and groups are always engaged in a perpetual struggle for power. They struggle to impose their power on others, or to maximize their power on others, or if they're weaker groups, they try to struggle for their own empowerment. So no matter whether we're talking about individuals or about groups, about the strong or about the weak, social life boils down to a struggle for power. So again, individuals or groups are fundamentally self-interest. Self-interest is the dominant paradigm of most of the dominant theories in social sciences, in public policy, in economics, and in politics. So this is really the operating system of most of our social theories that underlie the way that our society functions. And the underlying assumption of all of these theories is that human nature is solely and entirely self-interested. That's what humans are, and humans can never change. So let's just think about this. Is it true that human beings are only self-interested? I mean, of course, they're often self-interested, but can they be both self-interested and not self-interested? Can all of our behavior be boiled down to one single basic motive, or do we have a complex human nature?